Ameren is going to try to restore electrical power to our facilities here in Oquawka. At 11 o'clock on Monday night, the water level got to a point where they had to shut us off, and we had to transfer to our emergency generator because of the high water levels. The water levels actually were exceeding the 93 levels and were continuing to rise. And their concern was that if the water levels got to a certain point, it would cause a short in the electrical system, which would then basically blow up the transformer that's out there. If that happened, we would not be able to have Ameren power probably for close to a month, because they would have to replace the transformer, which couldn't be done until all the floodwaters went down. We cut some breaks, unfortunately, for people downstream from us when some of the levees broke farther downstream, which allowed the water level to drop faster than all the predictions that had been coming in. So Ameren has devised a way to get us power sooner than what was originally predicted, which was at the earliest late Thursday afternoon, more likely Friday morning was going to be the earliest that we were going to have Ameren power. Due to their valiant efforts, along with lots of other people, they're going to try to get us power today.
Now, best case scenario, that power comes back online. How soon can folks in Galesburg, Knoxville, Abington, East Galesburg be looking at seeing the boil order lifted?
Okay, the earliest the boil order will be lifted would be Friday morning. It's due to the regulations, part of the regulations. The reason why the boil order had to get issued is because of all the forecasts that we had and us being on generator power. We can only run one well motor with our generator. Our capacity was reduced to well below half of what our demand was. The decision was made by me, I'll take the responsibility for this one, on Tuesday afternoon to turn on our wells in Galesburg, so our storage didn't get completely depleted, because the earliest that we were told at that time was probably Friday morning for power, which would not get us up to full capacity. Because of that, our chlorine residual in our system dropped below the mandated standards. That's why we had to issue the boil order in the first place. It's EPA's requirements that you have to maintain at least a 0.2 free chlorine residual throughout your system. With our emergency wells running, it dropped us down to about a 0.1.
So, to confirm, there wasn't a presence of contaminant in the water. It was a preventative...
It was a preventative precautionary measure because the chlorine residual dropped below the mandated standards. There's been no contamination. Through valiant efforts of my people out here, we've prevented that. We secured the rainy well, made it watertight. Well, I don't want to say completely watertight. We had a little bit of infiltration coming into the building, which was immediately pumped back out before it could get to a level where the well would become contaminated. It was just a regulatory issue. So what we're going to be doing, when we get Ameren power restored and are confident that it will stay on, we will then go out to the fringes of our distribution system, flush the water mains to try to pull the chlorinated water into our system as fast as possible without causing problems. Monitor the chlorine residual this afternoon. Go back out Thursday morning, monitor the chlorine residual again, pull our set of bacteria samples. It's a 24-hour turnaround for the samples, which we do in-house. We're a state-certified lab. You might be familiar with that. And so that's why Friday morning is the earliest, because it's a 24-hour turnaround period from when we pull the samples to when we can verify that everything is fine to the Illinois EPA's requirements. I've been in contact with the Illinois EPA this morning. We set out a plan, got it accepted by them on how we proceed with the sampling, and right now I'm pretty confident that by Friday the boil order will be lifted.
Last question, how frustrating has it been? It seems like your timeline, you could never really set anything down as far as what you could expect. What has been the key to remaining flexible?
It's just being able to think on your feet. It was a very dynamic situation. We're constantly trying to get updated information from the Army Corps of Engineers as water levels, their predictions. It was such a dynamic situation for them. Anytime it rained in Iowa, changes the predictions for down here. Originally, the water levels weren't supposed to get anywhere near 93 levels. Then all of a sudden it changed when that one storm came through, and then they were talking about 93 levels. And then the next day it changed to well above the 93 levels. we did everything that we could to secure our sites. We did keep them safe, but the biggest issue was when the water level got so high, for safety reasons and everything else, Ameren had to shut us off. And that was the right decision on their part, because if we would have lost a transformer out there, like I said, we would have been on generator power for a month. And so it was just being able to think on our feet. I consulted all my people, open for suggestions and ideas. Everybody came up with good suggestions, good ideas. We implemented everything that we could, and we caught a break with we caught a big break with Gulfport's levee going down. I feel very sorry for those people down there, but it did help us. It's getting us power probably 2 days sooner than we had anticipated.